It's... Welcome back to Child Parkourist. In part one of our report on Maya civilization, we looked at three iconic buildings in the Chichen Itza site: the pyramid, the Temple of the Warriors, and the ball court. Today, we're looking into the key that unlocked the code of the ancient Maya script. The ancient Maya were sophisticated and complex people whose history was lost to much of the world for centuries. The jungle had grown over their large cities. Their population had been decimated. Their once centralized society scattered to the four winds. Today we're asking, how is it we know anything at all about the ancient Maya? In this episode, we will discover how researchers, working over decades, unlocked the code of the ancient Maya script, revealing a past that had been lost for centuries. The Maya have occupied a stretch of land that begins in modern-day Central America all the way up to the southern region of Mexico for hundreds of years. The arrival of the conquistadors in the early 1500s was a turning point in history. The world would never be the same. The conquistadors were the first Europeans to encounter the Maya. Their goal was not to study a culture, but to conquer it. The Maya were forced to stop practicing their religion and convert to Christianity. The Spanish ordered the burning of their books and outlawed their written language, destroying much of their culture and traditional way of life. Combined with drought, warfare, and disease, the arrival of conquistadors had a profound impact on the Maya, and their population declined dramatically. Those who remained moved away from larger cities like Chichen Itza, instead settling in smaller areas throughout the region. The jungle reclaimed the abandoned cities, hiding from sight the wonders of the past. The area was mostly forgotten by outsiders until 1843, when John Lloyd Stephens published his book, Incidents of Travel in the Yucatan. His book inspired many adventurous tourists, artists, photographers, and archaeologists to explore the site of Chichen Itza, and slowly they began to uncover the ruins from the jungle. What they found were the remnants of a massive city. Pyramids, temples, huge plazas, and mysterious structures. As the ruins of Chichen Itza came to light, strange and wonderful carvings were etched into the stone. Beautiful, but what did they mean? The quest to decipher their meaning is one of the most fascinating stories in history. To learn more about this amazing discovery, we reached out to Dr. Gabrielle Vail, an expert in Maya script at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Author of numerous books, Dr. Vail is the director for the Florida Institute for Hieroglyphic Research, creator of the MayaCodices.org database, and research affiliate for Inherit, an organization dedicated to archaeological research that incorporates present-day Maya communities in the discovery of their past. She was kind enough to help us tell our travel parkourist story. So, the story behind the decoding of the Maya glyphs spans decades. What can you tell us about some of the key events that led to the deciphering of the Maya code?
Well, the story actually spans more than a century, so it's a very, very long story, but it's also a continuing story. It's still underway. The interest in pre-Hispanic Maya culture really lapsed for a time period between the 16th century, the Spanish conquest, until about the 19th century, when there were various discoveries that happened. The sites had been rediscovered, and travelers such as John Lloyd Stephens and Frederick Catherwood, who were artists, produced several books on their travels and included illustrations that had the Maya monuments and texts in them. At the same time, manuscripts were being discovered in European collections that shed light on Maya hieroglyphic writings. People became really interested in looking at these texts and trying to figure out what they were saying.
These figures were thought to be symbols, like picture writing, but that did not get them very far in understanding what they meant. What they needed was an epigraphist.
Can you tell us what an epigrapher is and what they do?
An epigrapher is someone like myself who deciphers ancient scripts or writing systems. Basically, they follow a specific methodology of looking at substitution patterns in text to try to determine values of glyphs, and they base it also on information we have about the language itself.
And indeed, it was a group of epigraphers that discovered that these glyphs represented syllables, hundreds of figures, each representing a sound, and put them together to form words. For years, epigraphers, archaeologists, linguists, and artists studied these glyphs, trying to find the meaning of them. Some glyphs were just dots and lines. These turned out to be numbers. In 1832, the famed researcher Constantine Rafinesque noted that you never had more than 4 dots together in the texts, and that these dots appeared often above lines. So he realized that these dots and lines each represent a number system. Each dot is 1 unit, and a line represents 5. The discovery led to the understanding that some of the glyphs mark time, a historical record and calendar. So now they understood that the Maya kept track of time, and they had a calendar system, but some glyphs were pictures drawn to represent something. But what? Written languages are generally categorized as being alphabetic, with 20 to 35 letters representing syllable sounds. 80 to 100 is usually a syllabic-based system. If it has thousands of signs, it is considered to be logographic, which means signs represent words. The Maya script has about 800 signs, putting it in a strange place. It's too many to be syllabic, but not enough to be logographic. The Maya glyphs appear to be a combination of systems, combining words, signs, and sounds, making the decoding or decipherment very difficult.
What are some of the main challenges researchers faced when trying to make sense of the glyphs left behind by the Maya?
The main challenge originally was trying to determine what kind of system it was, whether it was syllabic, so a number of different syllables, or word signs. But once they figured out that it was this mixed system of logographs and syllabic signs, the challenge really became determining which glyphs were logographic and which were syllables and what their values were. And what was really interesting is it soon became clear that some of the glyphs could be both.
Understanding the sounds and identifying the values or corresponding glyph gave researchers a clue. Many of these words, when said out loud, are very similar to the words still spoken by Maya in the region to this day. The spoken language survived, but the written code was lost, until now.
Did it help for the discovery that the Maya language is still spoken in the region?
Yes, it's helped to a tremendous extent. Both the fact that the language is still spoken, and also we have dictionaries and grammars that were compiled right after the Spanish conquest during what we call the colonial period. And so these can help us determine specific words and reconstruct what the ancestral form of those words would have been.
So how did our understanding of Maya culture and history change with these discoveries?
I think one of the things that really changed was our understanding of the culture and the worldview of Maya people. This is something that once we began to be able to read their texts, we could understand how they were thinking about certain things.
And finally, a question we ask all our contributors. What would an expert like you want a kid like me to know about decoding the Maya script?
One of the most important things is to keep in mind that decipherment is a combination of intuition, luck, and hard work. But it's also important to know that it was done by dozens of people over a very long period, and that many of them were actually young people. And then the other thing that's really important to keep in mind, a lot of my work is with contemporary Maya people. And of course, we wouldn't be able to read the glyphs or understand the language without the Maya people today. And I think it's important that we think about that as well.
Discoveries like these change world history, a paradigm shift in our understanding of ancient cultures, hundreds, even thousands of years older than our own. From the discovery of the Rosetta Stone to fossil records of dinosaurs to the decoding of the Maya script, the pursuit of knowledge and the persistence of brilliance can shine the light on our past, where once there was only the darkness of the unknown. Let's make the most of our opportunity to learn about our world. Let's keep in mind that knowledge builds on itself, and as we saw here, decades of effort by dedicated researchers resulted in a body of work that changed our understanding of the world. Let's have fun learning new things and know that we all have our role to play in this world. Let's do our best to make it a better place. This is Kellum signing off. Smash that like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and stay tuned for more videos.